Manager. We got 2 commissioners and we got a quorum in the chambers.
For those who care to do so, please stand and join me in the invocation.
What's under that?
Dear God, we thank you for your many blessings upon this community. We always look forward to the month of March as a reminder of spring. The beauty of new blossoms, the crisp fragrances in the air, and the return of warmer climate. We seek your continued guidance as we make decisions to continue the forward progress in our community. May the proceeding of this and every meeting be welcomed and according to the will. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam City Manager, what are the agenda modifications, if there are any?
We have 2 deletions from tonight's agenda, Mr. Mayor. They are items 13.02 and 13.03. Both of these are road surfacing items where some questions have come up that I haven't had a chance to get an answer to today. So we will bring those both back to you at the next meeting.
All right.
And those are the only mods that I have.
Next item then.
The next item is presentation.
Presentations. Who's got my cheat sheet? I don't know. Do I have to go up here for this? Oh, yeah, you all got to join me at the podium.
I do it. I would do it.
Thank you. Well, this is unique because I'm going to ask the city manager to join me. I'm going to ask Angela Hindreth, the director of our Equity Workforce and Development Department, and all present members of the Women's History Month Committee, please join me at the podium. Why don't we just say all women join me? Please join me at the podium. She's eating cake. Commissioner Miller. Calling Commissioner Miller. Calling Commissioner Miller. This is Women's History Month. Commissioner Miller, you do not want to miss this presentation. Commissioner Miller. Who? Robin. And those who are involved with the Commission on the Status of Women, please come up with us. I knew y'all were here for a good reason.
There she is.
There she is. Commissioner Miller has joined us. All right. When I read this, everybody will know what we're talking about. And actually, it's too short, but we will. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. Whereas American women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of the life of the nation, of our nation, by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. Whereas in 1987 and in each successive year, Congress passed a resolution marking March as Women's History Month. And whereas the City of Tallahassee supports and recognizes the Commission on the Status of Women and Girls in their work to promote life improvement of women and girls in all areas of our society, and whereas internally, the City of Tallahassee will share weekly emails with interesting facts about women and a contest identifying women history. Whereas the City of Tallahassee recognizes Women's History Month through community events, workshops, and tree plantings to honor local women in history. Now, therefore, I, John R. Marks III, along with the Tallahassee City Commission, hereby declare the month of March Women's History Month. And let us all celebrate that. And somebody's going to make some remarks. Is it going to be you, Commissioner?
I think it ought to be our chair of
Who's oh,
Status of Women.
and on the I know in the status of women, you all have to say something.
Please tell the folks all of the activities that you've scheduled, because the director here has really gone over the top on addressing women in history and also in the workplace and in every other aspect of our lives.
Thank you, Commissioner Miller. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
And it was a pleasure to serve as the chairperson for the Women's History Month Committee. I'd like to recognize all of the members of the committee. I had the pleasure of serving with Michelle Bono, Cynthia Barber, Rita Taylor, Ashley Edwards, Ellen Blair, Cherie Bryan, Dee Crumpler, and Rick Miner. And also, I need to recognize ISS and Charles Brown for his outstanding work on pulling together one of the components that we're using, and that's the website that we have. The activities that we planned, one of the things that we're doing every day is we're sending out an email. It's called Did You Know? And it's an interesting fact about a woman, and I'm sure all of you know this. Women do extraordinary things every day, and we take the month of March to recognize that. So if you haven't had a chance to do that, go out to our website and take a look at the page dedicated to women for this month of March, and you'll see some interesting facts about women, as well as the first women of Tallahassee in this government. We're talking about some of the women who've been first here. For example, we've got our first female city manager standing right behind us. Cynthia Barber's also recognized. She's sitting, okay. Cynthia Barber's also been recognized, and other women in the government have been recognized. So we've been doing some great things. We have planned, we've got a contest coming up that will be going out probably this Friday. We'll give you a chance to test your history on what do you know about women and what they've done for this, not just for this country, but in this world. We are also going to have a event that's going to take place at the end of the month where we will be getting together with some young ladies and give them an opportunity to talk with some seasoned women about what they can do to what they can do as it relates to self-esteem and career development and just their overall well-being. So we're very excited about the program that we have planned, and we invite you to join us in reading the emails that come out every day. Take a look at the website and make sure that you participate in the contest. Thank you.
Please, on the status of women.
Thank you. Hi. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Commissioner Miller. I'm Robin Hassler-Thompson. Yeah, I chair the Commission on the Status of Women and Girls, and it's a real honor to both chair that and to be here this afternoon to thank you for what you're doing, not only with this proclamation, but with your steadfast support, and all the commissioners' steadfast support of the Commission on the Status of Women and Girls. We've been working hard. As you know, we had a big summit in October, and we also are right now working hard to produce our report, which will be coming out in April, detailing many recommendations for action and more information about the status of women and girls here in our community. So thank you very, very much. And
Anybody else got
so
one?
would you like to say?
Speaking on behalf of Oasis.
Yes, Lisa Langendorfer from the Oasis Center for Women and Girls, who staffs our commission, is also here.
Hi, like she said, I'm Lisa Langendorfer. I'm the staff liaison for the Tallahassee-Leon County Commission on the Status of Women and Girls. Our executive director from Oasis, Haley Cutler, couldn't be here today, so I'm really honored to be here and to be able to be a part of this today, so thank you.
Thank you. And here is the who's going to get it? Angela? You're going to give it to him? I like what Angela said they're going to do at the end of the month. They're going to have a dialogue with seasoned women.
That must be them, not me.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out what that
Wonderful.
I don't know.
or experience. You like season? I like that too, tell you the truth. And but anyway, we want to thank all of you all. We want to thank the women. You know, what can you say? We would be nowhere without women. That's true. So I recognize that. I got a lot of them in my life, and I love them all. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, everybody. And now, I got you. Is Wayne here? We're supposed to have an update from Wayne Tedder.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Guess what? One day, 17 hours, 24 minutes, and 35 seconds before the opening of Cascades Park. Commissioners, Blueprint is really, I can't say beyond really, is really, really excited to be a part of being able to get this park open for the first time to our citizens this Friday. When the 1 cent sales tax was extended by our community in 2000, Cascades Park was designated as the crown jewel or the signature project of all the Blueprint projects. And I have absolutely no doubt, Commissioners, that we meaning the city, the county, and Blueprint, we will be delivering exactly that in the next couple of days. I'm so thankful for the leadership of you all, the City Commission, the County Commission, and especially the City Manager and County Administrator as we administer our 1 cent sales tax and make sure that the funds are expended in exactly what our citizens envision for our community. We are, as I indicated, the doors will be open Friday morning. The video is going to allude to a little bit of that. But we work really hard to try to get the word out to our community, to have them really celebrate with us the opening of this crown jewel. And I have Michelle right here. She's going to give you a little bit of update on our outreach efforts, and then we'll turn it over to the wise old owl.
The wise old owl.
Mayor and Commissioners, I hope you catch Wayne's excitement. I think that anybody that's been in this park is so excited to share it with the community. This is a joint, as you know, city, county, and most importantly, the Blueprint penny that is paying for this park. What's happening in terms of what we want the community to know is Friday morning at 10. It is the grand opening. It is open to the public. We invite them to be there. Bring the family, if you can get the kids out of school a day early before they start their spring break. But come and enjoy the opening ceremonies. We're going to have all of our commissioners taking part in telling us a little bit about the park. We're also going to have the announcement of the first 2 concerts that are going to take place. And I can tell you, people are going to be excited to hear the news of these first 2 concerts that are coming in April. We're also going to have the first ceremonial penny toss into the Cascades Park waterfall to celebrate the penny that has built this park. And then we're going to have some great surprises, and we're going to have tours of the park. We want to invite families back that evening at 5 o'clock, where we're going to have food trucks, lots of activities in the park, and performances on the amphitheater stage with groups like the Hot Tamale Band, the Truesdale Gymnastics Center Dance Team, Tallahassee Fiddlers, the famous Tallahassee Boys Choir, magician Mark Allen, and then the highlight that evening will be the family movie night where we are showing the Lorax. So it is going to be a great fun time. It is free for everyone. There'll be free popcorn, free sodas, free glow bracelets. What more could you want on Friday night? Then we want you to come back again one more time on Saturday. And Saturday from 10 to 2 is Discover Cascades Day at the park. We'll have your very own passport, and you'll learn about our play, learn, watch, and move parts of the park. And you'll take that passport and get it stamped and bring it to the prize table for the first several hundred people who will win I Discovered Cascade t-shirts. We'll also have, again, food trucks, performances that day as well with groups like Positive Generation Entertainment, the 4th Avenue Step Team, Deja Blue, the Tallahassee Community College Dance Company. We'll have the raising of the American flag right at noon. We'll have the Mumbai Youth Dance Company, Theater with a Mission, and the Tallahassee Community College Capital City Band. We want people to know about these because these are our homegrown talents. These are people from Tallahassee that have great music, great performances, great talents, and this park is all about the community, and we can't wait for them to come experience it. So now, the wise old owl.
Michelle, don't forget the details about the parking
Lots
for
of
Friday.
questions about parking, and let me mention that. Blueprint has worked with the state office complexes because we have a contract for parking in those state garages, and that's on weekends and after 6 on weekdays. So we encourage people to go to the website. It is discovercascades.com, and right on that website we have all these details we just mentioned and a map that will show you exactly where to park. We do want to remind people that for the 10 o'clock event, the grand opening, we're asking you to park in Myers Park. We will have a shuttle bringing people to the park from the park. That's because, of course, the state offices are all in business on Friday. So we will have some special parking arrangements on Friday only. The rest of those times, there are plenty of parking garages, plenty of parking around that area. We've printed that in the newspaper per the request of the commission that we have that map printed, but it's easy to find on discovercascades.com.
And that's park in Myers, the parking lot of the park at Myers Park.
Thank you for that clarification. And we're asking people, let's not park in the neighborhood. It's really not convenient to walk from the neighborhood. There's so much parking that's closer to the park. That day only, we're parking in the park itself, and there will be shuttles to bring you there, so it'll be a nice, easy trip.
And that's just in the morning, right?
That's only on Friday morning. Yes, ma'am.
So why is it?
Well, as she gets started, if I could have a moment just to congratulate Wayne. I know that he's going to take a long vacation after this. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm back, and I can hardly sit still. I'm so excited. It's almost time for the park to open, and you humans will get to see some pretty amazing things. Why, they've even put the Cascades back, with a little help from friends at Mainline Information. Well, that's right. There's now a beautiful cascading water feature representing the sinkhole and natural cascades that gave the park its name. At night, it'll be all lit up with beautiful colored lights. Now, I've been telling you that there's so much to discover at Cascades Park. Somebody actually paid attention to this wise old owl and named the kids' play area Discovery, presented by First Commerce Credit Union. A pretty cool name, huh? Yeah, I like it. I'll tell you more about that next week. And I'll even show you the new TMH2O fun space. That's TMH2O, that's fun. But those places are still under construction. So right now, I want to make sure you have the opening activities on your calendar. So fly on over, or walk or drive, whatever, on Friday, March 14th, because that's the day the park opens for the first time, and you're all invited. The grand opening starts at 10 in the morning with the dedication, ribbon cutting, lots of other stuff. At 5 p.m., there will be strolling entertainers, face painting, balloon artists, and then after sunset, around 8 p.m. or so, there's going to be a movie about a little orange forest creature with a funny name and a mustache. Now, I've never seen anything like that around here, but I heard there's a guy named Dr. Seuss who knows all about it. And you can always trust a good doctor to make you feel better. On Saturday, there's even more fun. There'll be performances on the amphitheater stage starting at 10 a.m. in the morning. There'll be music and dancing and things to do all over the park. Well, it's just going to be full of fun for the whole family. And when you get here, be sure to get your passport to all the fun things, because when you visit every station and get your passport stamped, you'll get a special Cascades t-shirt. And then around 2:30 in the afternoon, you can stroll on over to the annual St. Patrick's Day event at Clayman Plaza. Yep, this place is sure looking good. And they've even removed all the graffiti from the old City Electric building. Of course, now they call it Edison, after Thomas Edison. Electric, I get it. Electric building, Thomas Edison, okay, all right, okay, I get it, all right, that's good. It's gonna have great food and drinks, dining inside and outside, and banquet space. And who told you about all the great things happening at Cascades Park? Who's the go-to person when you want to find out what's happening? Who's the
Very good. We're all excited. We're all very, very excited about this. And we'll see all of you all, hopefully, on sometime during the weekend, either on Friday the 14th or Saturday the 15th. This is what we have been anticipating and working for and waiting for. So, Wayne, thank you. Where's Wayne? Wayne is here? He is over there. Wayne, thank you, and your crew. Really, you deserve a lot. The accolades that comes with doing something this fantastic for our community. Thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah, I mean, clearly there'll be a lot of kudos to go around in the coming days, but my route to my other office, I drive past Cascades Park every day by the state office buildings, and the number of city workers that are out there hurriedly, I mean, I'm sure the contractors are on site too, but hurriedly pulling that thing together. I mean, I don't know what time they get there or what time they leave, because they're there when I go and they're there when I leave, are doing more than a yeoman's job in trying to get this thing together so that we open on time on Friday. So
They've been there night and day and
I
weekend.
believe it.
Oh, I've seen them.
Lately.
And Sunday.
I believe it. Excellent work.
Except when
That too, and that was a different group.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, I wanted to thank some folks in the past that worked on this issue a lot, trying to get the initial funding to start the park. Dinah Hart, who was in the mayor's office, was with Intergovernmental Relations, the manager, and the mayor's office, worked on this issue. Paige Carter-Smith worked very hard to secure the funding for the cleanup of the site. Jim English was instrumental in pushing for this project. And Department of Management Services Secretary Tom McGurk, the state had this Cascades Park, they owned it. We were a potential responsible party for the pollution, but the state of Florida owned it, and they were planning on making it a parking lot and capping it with asphalt. And Tom McGurk not only agreed to stop that, but went with us to the legislature as the agency head to request funding for the cleanup. So I wanted to thank those folks for helping to get that ball rolling.
Yeah, there were a lot of folks involved in that in the very beginning. And you're right, Commissioner, that cleanup was very, very important. Anything else? Next item.
We're on citizen input.
Citizen input on agenda items.
Mayor, we have no citizen input on agenda items. We
All
do have
right.
speakers, but they're all unagended.
We're on
Right.
consent.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to move consent. All in favor of that motion, would you please say aye?
Aye.
It passes unanimously. Next item.
The next item is 11.01, which is a status report on the cultural plan implementation, and Commissioner Ziffer is going to give that report.
All right.
Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, at this point, there's not much to report. There are an awful lot of things that are happening over the next couple of weeks. The reason why is a lot of this is, I don't want to say being held up, but we're waiting for the Council on Culture and Arts to hire their new executive director. They've been going through the search. I think this Friday is the last day applications are accepted, and then there is a search committee that will evaluate those and make a recommendation to the board on the hiring of a new executive director. Concurrently, the COCA is looking at what the various costs are associated with implementing the cultural plan that was presented to us. Quite frankly, there were a significant number of items that were part of the plan that the current funding couldn't possibly cover all that, so there's going to be a process of determining what actually needs to be implemented, and we should have more on that. I would say probably in about 30 days. Certainly we'll be in a position by the time we come to our budget cycle to be able to make a better idea and recommendation to the Commission on funding. So that's where we are with the cultural plan review.
All right. Thank you very much. Next item. Introduction of.
Mayor, could I ask you a question? Commissioner Ziffer, are you on the search committee?
I am not.
All right, thank you.
Next item.
Next item, we have introductions of ordinance, and the city attorney will handle those.
Thank you, Madam Manager. We have 4 ordinances for introduction tonight. 12.01 is ordinance number 14-Z-02. It's an ordinance of the City of Tallahassee, Florida, designating and including additional territory as and in PUD plan unit development of the official zoning map of the City of Tallahassee, adopted and established by the City of Tallahassee. The first and only public hearing will be on March 26 at 6 o'clock. It involves changing the zoning classification from office residential zoning district to Sunshine Savings Bank PUD zoning district. I need a motion to introduce that ordinance.
So move.
Second.
Properly moved and second. It's introduced.
The next item, item 12.02 on your agenda materials, is title, it's ordinance number 14-Z-07. It's an ordinance of the City of Tallahassee, Florida, designating and including additional territory as an PUD plan unit development of the official zoning map of the City of Tallahassee. This particular item involves changing the zoning classification from office residential zoning district to Crown Tallahassee PUD. The first and only public hearing, again, will be held on March 26, 2014. Need a motion to approve the introduction.
So moved.
I don't know if we really need the motion to introduce, so it's introduced. We can.
The third item is item 1203, introduction of ordinance number 14-0-16. It is an ordinance of the City of Tallahassee, Florida, amending the Code of General Ordinances to clarify the use of golf carts on certain designated streets, providing for the use of golf carts on Hodges Drives, TMH Court, Medical Drive, Surgeons Drive, and Physicians Drive. The first and only public hearing will be set on March 26, 2014. This is a request from TMH to be able to use golf carts on certain streets.
It's introduced. We got another one?
Finally, it's item 12.04. It is the introduction of ordinance 14-0-04. It's an annexation petition regarding Kings Mill. The agenda item for this particular item, the agenda material, I should say, indicates that there will be two public hearings. That's incorrect. There'll be only one public hearing, and that public hearing is set for April 23rd, 2014. The title of the ordinance number 14-0-04 is an ordinance of the City of Tallahassee, Florida, amending Chapter 6 of the Charter of the City of Tallahassee to annex within the corporate area of the City of Tallahassee, Florida. Upon adoption of said ordinance, property being situated in Leon County, Florida, in accordance with the voluntary annexation provisions of Section 171.044 of the Florida statutes. Again, the first and only public hearing is scheduled for April 23, 2014.
All righty, that's introduced.
That's it.
Policy formation and direction, Madam City Manager.
The next item is 13.01, grant agreement with FDEP for the Briarwood Septic Tank Abatement Project. And Commissioners, this item is seeking your authorization to execute a grant agreement with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection for the Briarwood Septic Tank Abatement Project. The grant will provide partial funding to construct water and sewer pipelines in the neighborhood. The project will also enable removal of up to 40 septic systems, many of which are now failing. In addition to removing environmental and health hazards, the project will also fulfill an annexation commitment made by the city to install sewers in this neighborhood upon the failure of the septic systems.
Move approval.
Second.
Great.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
It passes unanimously. Next item.
Okay, I mentioned that item point
Oh, yeah.
13.02 and 13.03
Word.
are being deleted and will come back to you at the next commission meeting. So the next item is 13.04, approval to extend the Good Neighbor Program. And Commissioners, in November of 2008, you created the Good Neighbor Program to assist utility customers in the greatest need. You funded this unique program from one-time refund dollars related to the wholesale energy and gas transmission contracts. It was the first of its kind in Florida, and over the last 5 years, the program has helped approximately 3,900 customers with bill payment assistance during the peak heating and cooling months. And before you move this item, if you would give me just 2 minutes, Mrs. Patricia McCray
We can do that.
would like to make a brief presentation on this item.
I think we can find 2 minutes for the manager. Is it?
2 minutes.
2 minutes for the manager? Okay. Take your time, though.
Thank you, Madam Manager, Mayor, and Commissioners and officials. Before I start into the item, I want to thank you, Madam Manager, for giving me the opportunity to speak, and that's why she's asking for the 2 minutes. This is my first time speaking before the commission, and I'm very thankful for this
Really?
opportunity.
Sure? Better wait till you get through.
Well, the Good Neighbor Program, you created it, as the manager said, in 2008, and it's a program that's dear to my heart because it helps income-qualified seniors, income-qualified families with children under the age of 5, and disabled persons living independently. This program has been a success over the last 5 years. We've had 3,900 customers that we've assisted, and over the last year, we've had a little over 800. Funding for this program is approximately $145,000 to remain to take us through March of 2015. We have sufficient funding. Approximately $420,000 is remaining in the budget to cover this funding. And I'm very thankful for you allowing me to present this afternoon.
We're thankful to you for administering this program because it is a wonderful program
Thank you.
for our community, so thank you very much.
Move denial.
Oh.
Just wanted to mess with you.
Woke everybody up.
What did you say?
May I help you, sir?
Turning into an interesting day.
Move approval.
Second.
It's probably moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
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 It passes unanimously. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
All right.
The next item, Mr. Mayor, is our target issue update, and we have one target issue update today, and Commissioner Miller is going to give that on long-range planning.
Hello, Commissioners. I'll try to be fairly brief so we can go to celebrate and we can listen to our unagendaed speakers. This was our February 26th meeting for the Long Range Planning Target Issue Committee, and the first item of note was that we met Mr. Chris Curry, who was our new airport director, and he and Mr. David Pollard outline the goals and strategies and the next steps to transform the Tallahassee Regional Airport into a Tallahassee International Airport. The committee action was we asked staff was asked to develop more detailed information regarding what will be accomplished and then to bring the item to the full commission. The second item was an update on the city policy to establish standards for the Capital City Cascades Park Amphitheater. And Mr. Lucelli was the presenter. We had a great deal of discussion about noise, and I know you all have heard a lot of that yourselves, but staff was directed to finalize the draft policy and bring it to the full city commission. So that's the next step for the policy. And the staff was also asked to provide a list of available parking spaces to the city commissioners, and I think you've all gotten those so that we can share those with the public, especially now that the park's beginning to open. Next, we had an update on the sidewalk program and prioritization policy, and our Public Works Director, Gabe Menendez, gave us the highlights of the program as it exists and how it was designed and up to this point. The committee action was to direct staff to work toward a resolution of the contractors using spray paint all over the sidewalks that it doesn't wash off. And we really need to address that because it lasts forever, and we're working hard to put in some nice-looking sidewalks, and it seems a shame to let them go that way. We were also asked them to revisit the placement of Live Oak Plantation Road on the prioritization list because that was at the top of the list at one time. Our speaker, by the way, I didn't mention this, but our speaker that morning was Ms. Jenny Daly, who has been a big advocate because she has small children and she wants them to be able to get to school. Previously, NOVA 2010 was a screening criteria. We've spent a tremendous amount of time and effort and resources on addressing that, and that will probably be, we're going to discuss replacing that as a screening criteria. we are going to research the disparity between the city and the county's estimate costs for constructing sidewalks. That was something that we brought up based on some information that they had provided, the county staff had provided, and also because on Timberlane School Road, half of that road is in the city and half of it is in the county. There's a differential between the cost of the city's project and the county's, and we wanted more information on that. Staff was directed to modify the safety criteria to include a focus on geometric hazards, and this is something that that Mr. Menendez recommended that we do. It means that we are going to be looking at sidewalks from a perspective, like for example, one of the examples was the Richview's deep sidewalk ditches that create Bradford Road is another one that I'm always amazed that people are actually able to stay out of the ditches on that one. But that's going to be part of the ongoing discussion, including a sense of place districts locations in the sidewalk prioritization and working towards a way to increase the number of miles of sidewalks that we're able to construct each year, because over the 10 years we've been building about 5.4 miles of sidewalk a year, and we would like to see that increased significantly. And all of this will be brought back to the Long-Range Planning Target Issue Committee in June. And with that, I just would like to say one more thing. We had a downtown placemaking update. Mr. Jeremy Floyd, a planner with the Planning Department, gave us the Downtown Sense of Place Action Plan, and the staff was directed to take the update to the full commission. Staff was provided direction regarding the preferred names of the various districts, of which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 involved, and so that will come to you next for your consideration. And finally, I want to thank Carol Gerald. She is our administrative assistant that supports the committee, and she always provides me with these excellent minutes, and I wanted to take a minute to thank her for doing that for us.
Thank you for that update. Very good. I mean, excellent. I like the international airport concept. We better explain that. We may not be flying passengers out of here internationally, but certainly the potential for cargo out of here is very, very high, and so we have to still get that international designation. So anyway, working on that. Next item.
On unagenda speakers.
Unagenda speakers.
Mayor, we do have speakers. I'll just remind speakers that under our City Commission Policy 108, which provides for public participation, in accordance with that policy, speakers are to adhere to a standard of public decorum and speak to that which is for the common good of the city policy, or city business, and refrain from barking and personal attacks.
Remember, it's not you.
Each speaker will have 3 minutes for his or her comments. There's a light to the left on the podium that will alert speakers by turning yellow with 30 seconds remaining, and then red as their time expires. If speakers will give their name and address for the record, we would appreciate it. Our first speaker is Erwin Jackson. He will be followed by James Wiley.
Dr. Erwin Jackson, 1341 Jackson Bluff. Commissioners, during our last City Commission meeting, citizens were shocked, embarrassed, and disappointed by accusations by longtime city employee Harry Brown. Specifically, Mr. Brown stated that Scott Maddox had told him to fire a city employee who accidentally walked in on Scott, a female employee.
So we're going to see, this is the kind of attacks we have got to watch out. Personal attacks, Mr. Jackson. Personal attack, it is, Mr. Jackson. Personal attacks will not be tolerated, all right?
Fine.
Thank you.
Okay, we're talking about legal documents here. And I'm also referring to what was discussed last week. Mr. Brown says he was fired because he failed to dismiss a woman who was interrupted.
Mr. This is personal attack. It will not be tolerated. Is that clear?
Personal attack.
It is a personal attack.
Let me be very clear. I don't care what two consenting adults do in their own home.
I don't know, Mr. Jackson, I don't know why you can't understand. We're not going to tolerate these kind of personal attacks any longer. We're not going to do it.
Very specific fact is
Mr.
Maddox made a statement.
We're not going to.
Last week, he stated that a citizen, Harry Brown, had lied regarding a legal document.
Excuse me, Mayor. You may direct the speaker or move to the next speaker, whichever your preference is.
Let's
as
move
chair.
to the next speaker. If Mr.
Well-
Jackson's not going to stop
Okay.
this personal attack on a commissioner.
Mr. Mayor, the next speaker would be James Wiley, if that's your
Next speaker, please.
next speaker is
Next
James
speaker,
Wiley.
please.
Excuse me, Mr. Jackson, we've called the next speaker.
Just leave the microphone off.
Mr. Mayor, we'll take the next speaker, but I'm not able to take that speaker as long as we have someone at the microphone.
Mr., we're not going to tolerate personal attacks. You've done enough of that. We're not going to tolerate it. Please sit down. Please sit down. Please sit down before we have you escorted to sit down, sir. Please sit down. Please sit. Will you please escort the gentleman to a seat? Let us.
Is someone concerned about falsified affidavits?
That's enough.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Mr. Mayor, the next speaker is James Wiley. Mr. Wiley will be followed by Curtis Baines.
Thank you. Mr. Wiley, name and address.
Jim Wiley, 5359 Pembridge Place here in Tallahassee. Your meetings are always exciting. But the last time we were here was on I think the 8th of January when Jameis Winston was here.
Yes.
And so that was an exciting meeting as well. I'm representing Elder Care Services. We've passed out our legislative request for you to see. You may have noticed in the Democrat earlier in the week that we got some very good ink in terms of our senior portal here in Tallahassee to serve our frail seniors. Mr. Scott Maddox is on our board, and we're very proud of that. Neither of us are paid anything for our service. I just wanted to make that clear. That was kind of intended to be some little light humor.
Thank you very much.
You may laugh if you wish. We're having our big wheels on April the 8th, and I know all of you have been invited to participate in that. But we're really excited about the possibility, and we appreciate the city for making this one of your legislative priorities. The legislature's been in session for about 10 days now, and we've got about 50 days to go, but you know, who's counting?
I am.
I am too, Mr. Mayor. But we appreciate your support, and we'll keep you updated from time to time as we move into the legislative session when the appropriations process begins in earnest. We will appreciate your support and those of other city officials. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for what you're doing
sir.
with Elder Care Services.
Thank you for your work.
Next speaker.
Next speaker is Curtis Baines, and
Mr.
that's
Baines.
the last speaker that we have, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Curtis Baines, 1323 East Tennessee Street. I wanted to thank you all for the date night on the 27th, but like many of the county commissioners, none of you called me afterward, and I don't know how to take that. I hope it has nothing to do, having been divorced twice now, I hope that has nothing to do with my own women's histories. But when I attended that evening, I was trying to listen to what other people were saying, because I know you get to hear me frequently down here, but I didn't know what other people were saying, so I wanted to listen to some of the things they were saying. I did not hear, at least at my table, I don't know how it was at some of the other tables you visited, I don't remember anyone at our table really speaking a lot about the sales tax matter, which I think is probably one of the biggest issues that's facing us. I mean, we talked about ethics earlier, which is, I think been put behind us now for the time being. But the sales tax, I think, now is probably the largest single issue before us this year. And I guess I'm the only one who is concerned about this, but I still think that as proposed in the consideration, those projects that we've considered so far, we're spending an awful lot of our infrastructure sales tax for non-infrastructure related projects. If my calculations are correct, we're basically spending about $1.07 for non-infrastructure related items, operating expenses, setting up funds for various incubators and that sort of thing. It seems to me, and you'll probably hear about this more in the community when you get out. It just seems to me that that's an awful lot of our infrastructure dollars to be spent for non-infrastructure related items. When we were going through that project, people came in and offered probably a couple of $1 billion worth of projects for infrastructure consideration. You know, I mean, it's not that we don't have a lack of infrastructure needs out there, and I know that, you know, a couple of $1 billion is not going to be funded with the sales tax, but it's not that we don't have infrastructure needs out there. So I would ask you at some point to, as we go through this process, to take a little closer look at that, because that just sounds like too much for my comfort anyway. I mean, you can probably get comfortable with that, but I cannot. And with that, I would also just mention that I've heard earlier about the Cascades Park. I thought that was the Cascades Stormwater project. And what I had suggested in the past is that we put a couple of markers out there and explain the value of the stormwater aspects of the project. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody want
Mr. Baines, I'm just going to, this might be helpful. This was something I read many years ago, sorry. If you can visualize a football field and go up 100 feet, that's how much water this park will hold when it's at capacity, which is an awful lot of water. And so hopefully that will help you, give you a better idea why this is a world-class stormwater facility, cleverly designed as a world-class park.
And I think that would be appropriate language for markers to put out there.
Good idea.
There. Commissioner Miller.
And I would thank you very much, Curtis, for bringing that up, because I agree completely with him about this, and have actually visited another city, got lots of pictures on my iPad that I'll be glad to forward to y'all. Can't remember which city it was. It was one of those South Florida places where, you know, they all kind of flow together in my mind. But anyway, the point is, they've done a beautiful job creating their own Cascades Park in the center. It's not nearly as large as ours is, but all the way around they have kiosks that have information on water pollution, what pollutes, various things. So I will circulate that to staff. Thank you.
All right. Any more speakers?
No further speakers.
We're on sharing of ideas, I think. Is that right? Yeah. Anybody? Go ahead.
I have one, Mr. Mayor. And true, like the old dating game, those of you that can remember that, I would like for you to meet Frank.
Uh-oh.
Frank is about 9 years old. He is an easygoing, goofy guy that is so eager to please. He absolutely loves long walks, will sit for a treat, and is always wagging his tail. Frank was actually found by the Tallahassee Police Department as a stray, but the staff and volunteers have quickly fallen in love with this handsome pup and can't wait to see him go to his forever home. He is an overall healthy guy. He is heartworm negative, is neutered, and will make an excellent companion as he still has plenty of energy left and seems to get along well with anyone he meets, including other dogs. The adoption fees are waived for Frank, so if you're watching out there today, we encourage you to call to our animal shelter to see if you can take Frank home.
How old is Frank?
Frank's 9 years old.
Frank's 9, so he's 37 years younger than you are.
Yes, sir.
Today.
Absolutely.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Yes,
birthday.
sir.
That's correct.
So he has a lot of years to go, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Right. Me, not so much.
As much as you might like for us to, Commissioner Maddox, we're not going to sing happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I did tell him we were dedicating a park for him on Friday. It won't bear his name,
Right.
but it's in honor of your
Just to
birthday.
celebrate your birthday. Big birthday present.
Any other? I got one thing. This past Monday, I was at the University of Central Florida, and I gave a presentation on our smart technology in this city, and what we're doing, utilizing the new innovations and the new applications and all of that. And I can tell you, we are far ahead of any other city in Leon County, for sure. In the state of Florida and otherwise. We're doing a remarkable job, and I want to thank our staff, those in ISS And down there, they're just doing a remarkable job in making us more efficient and effective in serving our citizens. It really makes a difference. And hopefully over time, our citizens will understand that this is going to really save us a lot of money, save them and taxpayer dollars a lot as we move forward with those various projects. And at some point in time, it was suggested that that presentation that I gave down at the University of Central Florida, I do it here. And so I'm going to try and see who's on the committee, the target issue with me.
On
Economic development.
Economic development.
Commissioner Gillum, I think.
Well, yes,
What's
now
that
he
one?
is, yes, sir.
Commissioner Gillum, I'm going to bring it to our target issue so we can vet it and so you can see it.
Right.
And then hopefully at some point in time, I can make a presentation here on what we're doing. We really are. And if you see Sabrina, where's Sabrina? Is she here by any chance? If you see Sabrina, tell her she and Van Riper, they're doing a remarkable job for us in that arena. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Commissioner?
Well, I would like to mention that my husband also had a significant birthday this past Monday, but that's not what I wanted to mention. I wanted to mention that my husband, John Buss, has just completed 25 years of service at the city.
Wow.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
That's very good.
25, is he here?
No, he's actually on vacation.
Was that his?
All those days he's accumulated.
Was that his reward for 25 years of service?
Well, he has quite a few vacation days he has to use up, so he took off to use up some of those days. But I am going to be here opening the park, so I thought I wasn't interested in participating in that trip at this particular time.
All right. Thank you so much. Anything else? If there's nothing further, we stand adjourned. Thank you.
Management experience, or an equivalent combination of training and experience. 4 years of the required experience must have been in a supervisory capacity. Job title: Public Safety Communications Operator with the Tallahassee